Hey guys, welcome to week 4 edition of our coronavirus shutdown, giving our message. It's been crazy. I wish I can say it's been a lot of fun. We're ready to go back to normal life.
Yeah, I definitely miss seeing people, going places, and we really miss seeing you guys and having church at church, but that's not going to stop us from having church over the internet.
Yeah. That being said, I know it's difficult to do things when we're not in person. And so, some of you guys have been slacking on our challenges. But we do have a new challenge this week and a new Snap question this week.
Yep.
But a lot of you guys did not answer the Snap question from last week. And so there'll be a link that you can click here to go to that video from last week if you have not watched it, or any of the other ones to catch up. And so please comment down below on last week's video of what the Snap was. And so, but this week we do have a new Snap question for you guys. And the question is, what is the first thing you plan on doing when this COVID-19 shutdown is over? You want to go first?
Now, earlier we talked about this question. I said, I want to go to Menchie's. Guys, I really love Menchie's. It has my heart. I miss it so much. We go there almost every time we go on a date because we get coupons in the mail, and I love it so much. So, earlier my answer was Menchie's. On Daniel's manuscript, he wrote, go to Menchie's on a hot date with Daniel.
Yeah.
So there's my answer for you.
Yep. And for me, go to the Cleveland Art Museum.
I'm looking on a hot date with me?
No, just to go. You could be there or not. It's fine. I miss that place. So even though the art can't give me any diseases, the security guards can. Another note, stick around for the message that we give, because Sara is actually going to be helping deliver that message. And so looking forward to that. I was going to make a joke about you delivering other things like the kids. You delivered them.
I don't want to think about that right now.
Alright guys, so this Friday and continuing on each Friday after that in the evening, I'm not sure what time in the future, but for this Friday for sure, we're going to be meeting at 9 p.m. over Zoom. And what we're going to be doing, like we did last week, is another Jackbox party game. Last week we played a few of the games that they have there. And so if you're looking to hang out with us and to join, that would be awesome. And so Sara will be contacting you guys. I'm not going to put all the link right here because then anyone can join. But for our youth group or any of your friends, if you guys want to join in. And so we had a great time last time.
Yeah, so go ahead and pause the video right now and download the Zoom app if you don't have it yet. And that way you're prepared for Friday night. It was a blast last Friday. A lot of you joined in, and we're looking forward to it again this week. Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. And just a reminder for that, since we're talking about watching things live this Sunday, if you do not have a church to watch on Sunday morning, you guys can click the link that's going to be in the notes below for Rockside Assemblies of God, which is where we're going to be meeting in person for our youth group once this COVID-19 shutdown is over. And so watch those services. I'm actually going to be there playing the piano as part of the band this week.
So this week we have another challenge for you guys that Pastor Daniel actually came up with, so he's going to describe it, but you know this craziness came
Basically, take some random stuff and you're going to stack it on your head, and that stuff is going to add up to points, and you have to take a picture of it. And you can't be holding it with your hand or be leaning against a wall, and it would be better if someone else took a picture of you. That way we can just see everything that's going on. But Sara's going to describe briefly what some of the point systems are for this challenge.
Okay, so basically you guys are going to get points for the things that you're actually balancing on your head. So say you have a video game controller, and maybe that's worth 5 points, whereas a can of food is worth 5 points, or a book is worth 2 points. And then you're also going to get points for what you're doing while you're balancing the things on your head. So say maybe you're wearing a hat and balancing the things on your head, so you get 3 points for the hat. Or you're standing on one foot and holding your cat, and you're going to get points for that too.
I'll probably do that.
And then you're also going to get points for the social media platforms that you post your crazy head balancing picture on. So say maybe for Facebook you'll get 10 points, or your Instagram story tagging the Revive Instagram, you might get 5 points for that.
I just want to say that the whole holding the cat thing, I don't know if this is official, but I definitely believe you should get extra points if you balance things on your cat's head. That would be hilarious. By the way,
I approve. I approve of that.
Cup of water, what was that, 20 points?
Yes.
So you guys go big or go home. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's more fun if everyone participates. The more people that do it, the more fun that you guys are going to have.
Don't look at your phone and be like, I'm not going to do this week's challenge. Do this week's challenge, okay?
Don't be afraid of looking stupid.
We're not doing anything
else.
Yeah, we're not doing anything else. You guys aren't going out to the movies or anything. So let's do this challenge, do the snap question, and I'll snap question from last week too. So the title of our message tonight is How to Be Blessed. We're going to be talking about the Beatitudes. And so this is not a comprehensive idea of blessings. I'm sure there are many more ways to be blessed, but what we're going to talk about is what Jesus talks about on how we can be blessed. And so I think that's really important in life. You know, there's so much that's going on, but even when there's not, I think it's important to be blessed. And so the Beatitudes is the beginning part of Jesus' message, one of his main messages, which is called the Sermon on the Mount. And so the Sermon on the Mount is, the sermon may be a new word for you guys if you didn't grow up in church. And so a sermon just simply means message. Like a preacher gives a message. And so Jesus has this message on this mount where a lot of people are there. And so he starts off with talking about people being blessed, and they're called the Beatitudes. And so we're going to talk about how to be blessed. And so Jesus lists a bunch of axioms about those who would be blessed. And so but first, I just want to say that the Beatitudes is less about doing and more about being. And so this is the beginning of his message. This is what he says in Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 through 12. Sarah and I are going to alternate here, so I'm going to start with the first verse. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied.
Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God.
Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. So they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So these are basically the Beatitudes that Jesus gives here. Blessed are those who this, blessed are those who that. A lot of things that in life that we wouldn't think are really full of blessings, things that can be pretty negative. And so why would Jesus say these things? And so we read that in the NIV. But I just want to take a moment and we're going to look at this in the not the ESV. We're going to take a look at this in the Message. And so I'm going to have the verses next to us here. And so Sarah's going to read the Message and I'm going to read the verse that we just read, starting off with verse 3.
Oh, I love this. I love looking at the Message version of the Bible. Not to just read in for my daily devotions, but just to sometimes look and get a new perspective on the verse. Yeah, it really helps unpack what we're reading here when we say, what does it mean that blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. What does that really mean? And so the Messages is just another way of explaining that. You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and his rule. Yeah.
So that's what it means to be poor in spirit. It's like you're at the end of your rope. When there's less of us, there is more of God. And so we are blessed when we're poor in spirit. The next one says, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted.
You're blessed when you feel you've lost what is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you.
I think it's important to realize that in many negatives, that there are positives. Many rough times in life, there are things that there is a silver lining that goes on. And so the next one, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
You're blessed when you're content with just who you are. No more, no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that can't be bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's kind of a theme in these verses that just kind of when you feel down and like you can't do life on your own anymore, that's when we're most willing to let God into our lives, and that's when we see him working in our lives a lot.
Yeah, that's where the blessings, come through, is a lot of times when we're going through this. But as we unpack this, and as we're going to see after this, Jesus isn't just saying that if you're down, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
But really, it's the reason why we're down, and so Jesus even goes on, and so I don't want to spoil the next one, but Jesus does say that, if you're being punished because you did something wrong, like, it's not like, hey, yay for you, but it's more like if you were doing right and you're still being punished, then you're blessed.
Yeah.
And so, for doing the right thing and for having a relationship with God. And so I think these are great reminders. But even the next one here in verse 6, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied.
You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God. He's food and drink in the best meal you've ever eaten.
Yeah. And in verse 7, blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy.
You're blessed when you care. At the moment of being careful, you find yourselves cared for.
That's a smart message. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
You're blessed when you get your inside world, your mind and your heart put right. Then you can see God in the outside world.
I like that. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God.
You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family.
In verse 10, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
You're blessed when your commitment to God provokes persecution. The persecution drives you even deeper into God's kingdom.
Yeah, so this is the thing I was talking about earlier, that it's not just a blessed because you're treated wrongly, but blessed because you're treated wrongly even though you're doing the right thing, because you were following God, and for righteousness' sake, that you're still being persecuted, that you're going to be blessed.
Yeah, that's really heavy.
Yeah, I think of a lot of the Christian martyrs in the church that died for the faith, and that they were blessed, not in this life and not on this earth, but they were blessed in heaven because of what they stood for and, being obedient to God. So, verse 11 through 12, blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account.
Not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down or throw you out or speak lies about you or to discredit me.
Yeah. So I just want to say, it's the little things in life that matter. When we look at the Beatitudes, some of the things can be the little choices that we make. It's not just one big decision in life. And normally that's how it is for people. You think of even just characters in a book or heroes, whether it's fictional or in real life, and you think of someone, it's not that one big defining moment. That's not normally how life is. It's all those little moments that led up to that, that are behind that action. And so it's the little things in life that matter. And so these little things, these little character decisions, they add up and they define who we are.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. And, Jesus is showing us that these things are not all for nothing. We will be blessed when we follow God, despite persecution and despite having to make peace, despite showing mercy and meekness, despite being kind and broken in heart. Some of the things that Jesus mentioned don't sound very appealing. Poor in spirit, that doesn't sound very blessing.
Those who mourn, they sure aren't mourning a blessing.
Yeah. Being treated wrongly for doing right, like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is Jesus saying that life will be full of happiness and smiles? Is that what he's saying when blessed are you who are poor in spirit? And like, Jesus, no, I'm poor in spirit. Like in Luke, it just says are poor. And so what does it mean to be blessed? And I was even wrestling with this today when I'm going over this. So what does it mean to be blessed when obviously those that are being blessed are having a pretty rough life? What does it mean that they will be blessed? Will it mean that they're going to have an easy #blessed life? No. This blessing may not even come to us in this life, like many people in the church and even the disciples. Though it may, but to be blessed means to be made holy, be consecrated. It means that we're set apart for God's purpose. When we are blessed, we are touched by God and His goodness. And so this is true when we have a relationship with Jesus as our Lord and Savior. That's when we're blessed. If it's like, yeah, I'm feeling down today, Jesus isn't just saying, hey, you're blessed, but it's if you are in a right relationship with Jesus and you are following Jesus, despite being poor in spirit, to be broken, despite all these different things that may happen in life, and also good things that we have in character, taking the time to be peacemakers, despite all these things that we're going through, because you have a relationship with Jesus, you are blessed. Because it's not up to us in this world. It doesn't end here in this world. Yeah, I don't have to find a hashtag blessed life before I die, but I can follow Jesus and trust in him that I am going to be blessed one way or another.
Yeah, we have hope beyond the circumstances that we're going through in this life right now.
Yeah, and so we just want to end with this. I encourage you to invite Jesus into your heart if you have not done so. It's just as simple as just repenting to Jesus and asking him into your heart. It's as simple as that. Just talk to Jesus, just using your own words. And I also encourage everyone to live out the Beatitudes, what we just talked about today. And I guarantee you'll be blessed if you do.
I thought it was ironic that you described what a sermon was, which they all definitely know, and then you used the word axiom in the next sentence, and I was like, I've never heard that word in my life.